Hey, aloha guys. Eric West here, hawaiirealestate.org, Shaka. Much aloha to you and your ohana, and thank you for joining me on this very special live. I'm standing here in front of the world famous banyan tree. I'm very happy to say it appears to be in pretty good condition. Lots of new growth and a wonderful opportunity for good vibes for Lahaina. Looking at something like this gives me a lot of hope that the future will be resurrected, a lot like this tree has been resurrected. Interestingly enough, right now as I stand here, we have people down at the Maui County Council building testifying in opposition to the proposed ban on vacation rentals, which I think could definitely decimate the economy here on Maui. So I'm hoping that that bill will not go through. But I just wanted to take a moment to show you guys what the tree is looking like, and in hopes that you will definitely be able to enjoy.
Here, bro.
What's that?
Cannot be in here.
Oh yeah, I just saw some people walking through, so
Off limits. There's
okay, I'll go back. No worries. Yeah, there was just I've been scoped down here for about 40 minutes, and lots of people have been walking up through here onto the banyan tree area. So anyway, I'll get out of here, but it's all good. What I'll show you now is Front Street. The title of this video, of course, is an intimate look at Front Street. They recently opened up a path to get to the surfing, which is right over here. This is, of course, where the Pioneer Inn used to be, right here. And there's a way to get to the surf break, essentially. And over here is what was the, I believe that is the wharf, and that was where Captain Jack's was at, I do believe. It's all a little bit difficult now that you don't have the normal landmarks. And of course the Lahaina Harbor is right over there, and the courthouse right behind, the historic courthouse right behind the banyan tree. And then of course here you can see one of the surfers coming in to go for a ride. So we'll get over here into the legal area, quote unquote. But nice to see that these buildings are still standing. They are on the ocean front, so it'll be interesting to see if they allow them to remain. But the challenge so far has been anything that's on the ocean, of course. They're saying nothing can be, well, there has been no permits issued on the ocean. And of course, as you can see, 670 odd days after the fire, there's nothing being rebuilt in the commercial area whatsoever. What I'm looking at right here is, of course, Fleetwood's, the building where Fleetwood's restaurant was located. Been around for a very, very long time. And over here would have been a number of Lahaina Front Street shops right here. And you can see these buildings are being salvaged, which is a good sign. Obviously very historic buildings. And certainly hoping that they can save these buildings. Looks like what's really the saddest thing for me, I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but honestly it is the trees. Because if you look at videos, especially the videos I did of Lahaina right after the fire, you know, the trees were all standing, the trees were not burned, yet all the trees have been removed essentially, with the exception of just a few. I have a friend of mine that's actually working on this project right here. They're doing some repairs to the seawall. So that's good. Seawall repairs, that's nice. But this is Front Street, what it looks like today. If you're just joining the live, that's the world famous Fleetwood's restaurant, which was salvaged. I heard that they tried to tear it down, and the owners stepped in and asked for mercy, and they did not tear down the building, so that's fantastic. But as you can see, all the other buildings have been removed, with the exception of these structures right here. I believe this is where the Volcom store was. I believe that was Dole ice cream right there. I can still smell the ice cream coming off. I wish I could, but I can't. But this was just a very fragrant little section right here. There was one of these stores, I don't know what they had in there, but man, it just smelled really good. You hit the ice cream right there, And then some here, Volcom had the air conditioning going, and then there was another store here. I think they sold some sunglasses right here. I can't remember all the stores, but they just smelled good. I don't know why they smelled so good, but they just did. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to show you a little bit of the banyan tree before I got the boot. But I'm gonna just continue to go here where I can, and you guys can take in as much detail. This is literally the first time, other than when I was hired to do some work in Lahaina. I was able to shoot some video when I was hired here to do some work, but this is the first time I've been here as a, other than that time, as a citizen essentially, legally able. There's a parking area behind I think this is the Baldwin house, that you can park, and you can come down here and you can basically walk over to the surfing access. I don't know if you guys remember this restaurant right here. This is actually the first place I ever ate breakfast. There's like a little breakfast joint that was right here. I can't remember the name of it, but you could sit there and look out at the ocean, and super nice local Ohana family that owned that restaurant. First place I ever took the kids to eat breakfast. Hit me in the comments if you ever ate at that breakfast spot. And then this is the park, obviously, and you know what's really missing is the tree. There was these massive trees in here providing all kinds of shade, and now it just looks like the moon. Why they cut down all the trees, I'll never understand. And this is, of course, that iconic Front Street shot, taking a lot of photos right here at night. This would be just a beautiful, beautiful shot right here of Front Street. All the way down, you can see right, it's gonna orientate you a little bit right there. I believe right there is where Mama's, Mama's, Cheeseburger in Paradise. That wall right there, that's the Cheeseburger in Paradise, and you can see the stairs going down, and of course that's where fish would sit right there, just to orientate you. And then beyond that, of course, Chemo's and that whole string of restaurants over there. High tide, as you can tell right now, coming in. Oh, sorry about that. So here we are. If you're just joining the live, thank you much for thumbing up the video, subscribing to the channel, and of course, sharing on your X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're trying to bring awareness to the forgotten town of Lahaina. As you can see, 670 odd days after the fire. Pretty much the only thing that's going on around here is surfing. There's a little shot of the swell that's happening right now. We just had the hugest swell come through, and it's still firing, man. So thankfully, they're letting the Groms back here at the Lahaina Harbor Surf Break. And these are some of the tourists that were just checking out the banyan tree. They didn't get the boot, but I did. But oh well. Oh, man. And of course, the lighthouse right there. Next to the lighthouse, they just built that Harbor Master building, so that survived, but you can tell it survived, but just barely. It's got some serious scorch marks on it. All the boats in the harbor were, of course, lost. The bathroom survived. Any kind of building that was a Maui County building, I don't know how, but it survived. So this wooden structure right here, this restroom, good to go. And of course, all of the very flammable plywood that was next to the boats, that all was perfectly fine. If you would have been traditionally flammable, you were okay. Like any kind of wood or, you know, anything that you would normally put in a fire that would catch fire, you were okay. But if you were like, you know, a car or steel or anything metal, you know, that was, matter of fact, you know what's really wild? The other day, check this out. Maybe some of you can share some insight on this. The other day, a friend of mine, I bought a welder. I needed some welding done. And he was welding something at my house. And I smelled this smell, and I was like, that's exactly the smell that I smelled the day after the fire when he was welding. And it's a certain gas or something that the welder puts off. He told me the name of it, and he goes, well, that's, I can't remember the name of it, but it's so weird that I smelled this, my friend welding something for me, and it literally brought me back to the day of the fire. I don't know why that is, because everything that was metal, you know, I don't know. Someday the truth will come out. Someday. Someday soon. Okay, let's keep going here a little bit. Thank you again for joining the live. We'll get back here to Front Street here shortly. And if you watched any of my previous content, you know I'm a big supporter of Lahaina fire survivors. And right now I'm putting all my focus and effort into a gentleman named Daniel, Blind Daniel. So please go to helpdaniel.org if you want to do a solid. Because these Lahaina fire survivors, they're still struggling, and especially Blind Daniel because he is obviously blind, and his FEMA housing, he has to apply to 3 or 4 other rental properties every month to keep his FEMA going, but at any moment they have the threat that it could go away essentially. So please go to helpdaniel.org. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to help him. $5, $7, $10, $500. So the recurring is the best because I don't know about you, but he's got recurring needs. So if you're willing to give to him every month, that would be fantastic. Whatever you can afford, but you would be definitely doing a really good service to helpdaniel.org. So here it is. First time I've been right here, I'll be honest with you. Wow, this is kind of interesting. Here's the lighthouse. Again, anything electrical, anything with wires definitely took a hit. So what do you think? Is this looking pretty good for 600 some days after the fire? How's that looking? That's pretty interesting, huh? Wow. That's crazy. So I'm seeing this real-time live just like you are. That's nuts, right? Wow. Glad to see that the government has really jumped on the cleanup here. And this is literally just feet from where President, quote-unquote, Biden stood right after the fire. Melted wires. I mean, guys, are you as shocked and surprised as I am at what we're seeing here? That's the brand new Harbor Master building that was built just before the fire, actually. And here you can see where the kids are getting ready to jump in the water. But check that out, huh? Wow. I mean, that's crazy. Gosh. That's crazy, right? You can't make this stuff up, man. Again, anything electrical. Ready? Here we go. Zzz. All the boats that were sitting here, all infernoed. You think a boat sitting on the water would be safe? You would think. I guess boats are super flammable. I didn't really realize that. The restroom, not so much. The restroom is perfectly fine. Because whatever got to those boats obviously would have got to that restroom first, right? But nope. And that wood on top of there, that's all good. Right? Because the fire came from this side, right? It was coming from up there, right? The fire came from up there. The wind was blowing this way. So logically it would pass through. If all those boats caught fire, then you would think that wood right there would be gone. You would think that restroom would be gone. I don't know. There was a bunch of, you can't see them right now, they took them down, but there was a bunch of plywood, seriously old, dried out plywood boxes all along the harbor that were totally unscathed. Okay. We'll continue on. Again, if you enjoy content like this, help the algorithm. Obviously, I got shadow banned pretty much right away. after I started reporting on the happenings here. So your help in thumbing up, subscribing, and sharing the video definitely helps. Hopefully we get some help over here from somebody, somewhere. So that's the banyan tree, obviously. That is the anchor that was sitting right in front of the Pioneer Inn. I wonder what happened to the sailor guy. Remember the sailor guy, the statue, the wooden statue? I wonder what happened to him. Beautiful shot of the West Maui Mountains. There you can see the L, Go Lunas. And then if you want to know where the fire started, officially, right below that solar field. You see that solar field up there? Right below that solar field is officially where this fire started. That's kind of gives you a sense of the distance. How's it going, man? So this obviously was a park right here. Watched a lot of surf contests right here that my kids were in. Yeah, there's one thing I can say for certain is every time I come down to Lahaina town here, it's extremely heart-wrenching, depressing. You kind of don't even want to come down here, to tell you the truth, because it's just a bleak reminder of the tragedy that occurred here on August 8th, 2023, and not just the town that was lost, but the lives that were lost, and the trauma that day and the days following, and lives turned upside down, and people's possessions scorched. And even a friend of mine told me he got into multiple safes that he had, and everything was rendered completely unusable. Cash was gone, their jewelry was melted. I mean, the one thing that you think would be safe is and these were good, big, large safes. People had lots of their wealth, sometimes their entire life savings, sometimes everything they owned, memories of deceased parents and grandparents and children and photos, and the list, it goes on and on and on and on. It cannot be overstated. The destruction, the suffering, and then the subsequent abuse they had to endure from various branches of our government. The trauma of not being able to get out of Lahaina because of the way the traffic was handled and the police blockades. It's just a very sobering, sad thing to revisit. And then you talk about not being able to rebuild, not getting permits. Again, more bureaucratic red tape designed to slowly choke and strangulate those of lesser means than the government. And it's real, and nobody's coming. Pretty much what I've surmised. And the ones that are coming, you hope there's a good guy in there somewhere. This sign says this was the Lahaina Shingon Mission right here. The stairway to heaven, the stairway to nowhere. This is the parking lot that they've made available for people to come down and park and surf. And then this is a communications building. I find it intriguing. Like they should study this building. Like whatever they made this building of, everything around it 360 degrees burned to the ground. But this building, perfectly fine. It's a communications building of some kind. It's unscathed. I've pointed this building out before, but I'm just saying, hey, Hawaiian Telcom, whatever Hawaiian Telcom made this building of, every building in the future should be made of whatever that building was made of, because it's just, it is, fires I know are strange, don't get me wrong. But when you have all the trees that are not burned, and then they remove the trees that survived. I have friends of mine that have producing mango trees that were taken down without their permission. They were fine, they were producing mangoes, they were eating them, had to take it down. Imagine all the beautiful Lahaina mango trees. Those were some of the best Hayden mangoes you could eat. Gone. Look at the videos. Look at the videos taken the day after the fire, full of trees with green leaves. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining. Again, please thumb up and share the video. Bring some awareness to this forgotten town of Lahaina. Please give to helpdaniel.org, helpdaniel.org. And keep Lahaina in your prayers. Please support Maui, specifically West Maui. Come and stay, come vacation. And let's hope they don't ban vacation rentals, because I'll tell you what, we had COVID. That was a serious economic stab to the heart. Then we had the fire, another one, economic stab to the heart. And now they're trying to ban vacation rentals, which will have far-reaching impact to all and every industry here on Maui. So I'll put some links, some emails. If you want to share your thoughts on that, please do so. I believe it's time that the government hears from the people of the world. So, okay guys, thank you so much. Till next time, Eric West out.